Hey everybody, Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerStore.com and DougRuckerSchool.com. Had a couple of guys, I think 2 or 3, asked me about doing a video on changing the oils in your machines. This is the 8 gallon per minute. We got a 5 gallon per minute machine over there, and we also have a 4 gallon per minute machine down there. So I'm going to kind of quickly go over that and kind of try to keep it as simple as possible. And so stay tuned for that coming up next. Okay guys, so for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to be using a 5 gallon per minute skid pressure washer. We've got an 8 gallon per minute over here, and then over there we've got a 4 gallon per minute portable. So I kind of show you the different nuances of each machine and changing the oil. So you've got a pump and you've got an engine oil. The pump, I think they recommend after the first 25 or 30 hours that you change that oil. The engine oil, I think it's every 20 hours or the first month or whatever you want to change the engine oil. That's your break-in oil when you first get it. After that, I believe on the pumps you can go up to 500 hours. On the engines, it's every 6 months or 100 hours, whichever comes first. And you can read that. I mean, I know we don't like to read manuals, but these manuals have great information that you can read about when to change your oils. But on this machine here, the 5 gallon per minute, the actual drain plug is down underneath the pump. It's very hard to get to. So I would suggest on this one that you pull the cap off and you get you one of those little vacuum oil systems that you can get, because you're going to be using it a lot. So just get you a decent oil vacuum from Northern Tool or Tractor Supply or Harbor Freight or whatever, so that you can vacuum that oil out. And then once you've got all the oil vacuumed out, you're going to put your oil back in, and you want this to come only halfway up the sight glass. This is for the pump only. So there's a little sight glass here. It's got a little red dot. And so you don't want to fill it all the way up. On any pump, you just want it halfway up, and it'll be even with that little mark that they have there. Now on the engine oil over here, you've got 2 different caps. You've got one on this side. Let me move over here. You've got one on this side, and that's actually the side that you would put the oil in. And then there's another one over on this side. This one, the one on the other side was black. This one is gray. And so that's the one with the little dipstick that you can check the oil. And so as you look down here into that reservoir, you only want that to come up just below where the threads end. And again, the owner's manual has a picture to show you where that goes, but you can put the oil in on either side, because that side's not really accessible unless you have a flexible type funnel. So you can put it on either side, doesn't matter. They just put these based on the engine orientation of how they're going to build it. So just use a funnel, add your oil, don't overfill it, okay? One thing I want to show you here on this machine, or this oil, this is what oil looks like when you get water in it. You see how it's all settled down at the bottom. So this actually was on one of my machines that I keep out in my backyard. The actual cap on top of it from the sun had cracked and had kind of disintegrated, really. Didn't totally disintegrate, but it started letting water in it. So let me move this oil over here, because I'm sure as the world going to knock it off or put my elbow in it or something like that. So as we come over here to the 8 gallon per minute machine, this is very easy to change the oils in this, because you have a drain hose coming off, which is for the engine, and then over here you've got one for the pump. So again, just loosen your bolt here, let it drain out. And then this one is very easy because you could take some of the cheap oil, non-detergent oil, of course, pour some in there and kind of flush anything out that's inside of it. That's very important. Once it drains, always use something to flush it out. Use some oil to flush it out a little bit. And that will get any type of impurities or anything like that that's on the inside of it. This one here is the engine oil, so the same thing. And it's always best on either one of these machines, any type of machine where you're going to change the oil, run them for a few minutes and then let them sit for a minute or so and then open it up. That heats the oil up, makes it more kind of liquidy, so it will drain a lot faster. Over here is the pump spout or dipstick. And so this is where you would put the oil in for the pump, and that's the dipstick that measures it also. And again, just refer to the manual. It'll show you what the level is supposed to be according to the dipstick. But again, over here, you've got a sight glass, and you can see that the oil doesn't need to be above that red mark. So you want it about halfway up that sight glass. Now, on the 4 gallon per minute machine over here, it's pretty similar to the other two machines, but this is a general pump. So right back behind here is where you have the drain plug. So you drain it out there. You just have to have some type of thin pan or something to catch the oil. I would make sure you get some oil pads or oil towels or whatever, that absorbent towels that will absorb oil if you leak or spill any or whatever. So that's for the engine oil. And then over here you've got the one for I'm sorry, that was the pump oil over there. Over here you've got the spout, kind of similar to what I was showing you on the 5 gallon per minute machine. So it's just basically, and then the drain, where's the drain on this one? Right here. So down here, you would loosen this bolt, and there's actually a little hole there for the oil to go through. So you would put a pan underneath the machine to catch the oil. And then, you know, once the oil has drained out, then you put the bolt back in there and refill your oil. Hey, don't forget, my next hands-on training school is coming up March 13th and 14th right here in Houston. And we have them April, May, every month this year. Hands-on training right here in Houston, Texas, like we've been doing for the last 11 years. And also my online video school that will drastically help you cut your learning curve if you can't make it out here to Houston. So you can visit and look at all of that at pressurewashingschool.com. The oil filters is every 200 hours to change the engine oil filters. So the important thing is to make sure you abide by those hours. Based on that, and you're changing your engine oil every 100 hours or so, then you can probably go through 2 oil change cycles before you have to change your oil filter. Now the oils that we use are, where's that Napa cheap stuff? Yeah. The oils that we use are the high performance lubricants. I use these for my vehicles, trucks, pressure washers, air compressor for the Kingslinger, everything. And so when we're changing out our oils for the pumps, we're using this. It's called Compressor Life 100. I will use this cheap Napa non-detergent. A lot of people use this as their main oil, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. It's just that these oils here are much better. I don't have to change the oil as frequently using these oils as the manual indicates. So, because they're much better oils, and that's true in my cars and my trucks as well. So this is the engine oil, SAE 5W30. And this Compressor Life 100 is the engine oil that we use for the pumps. So when I'm draining the pump, once it's all out, I'll use this cheap stuff and pour a little in to flush it, because I don't want to use, this is a little bit more expensive, but it's much better. I don't want to use that to do the flushing, so I just flush it out with a little bit of this Napa stuff and then fill it back up with the Compressor Life high performance lubricants. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, leave me a comment, ask a question if I can help you in any way, and hit that little bell so that you get notifications of when I'm coming out with a video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope it has been helpful for you. So I think that's about it. I hope, I had a few guys, like I'd mentioned before, had asked me about doing a video on changing oil. That's pretty much how you do it. It's just a matter of finding your drain plugs, draining your oil, and then refilling it back up. Of course, put the drain plugs back in. Been there, done that. And then, you know, again, look at your owner's manual that comes with your brand new machine. It has a lot of great information on it. I was even noticing on the 8 gallon per minute, they even talk about in here that fuse that is so frequently goes out back behind the ignition switch. So they even talk about that in the 8 gallon per minute. So I hope that helps you guys. If you have any questions about that, then just let us know. If you want to get some of these great oils off the website, you can do that. We don't make anything off of them. I just sell them for Edwin. A lot of you guys know Ed, the oil man next door. So we just sell them for him. And the main reason I sell them is because I'm just sold on them. I know that they work and they're much better oils than what I can get anywhere else. So this is a high performance penetrating lubricant. A lot of people use WD-40, but this actually works a lot better, especially if you've got rusted bolts or nuts or whatever. It does a great job of loosening that stuff up. So, yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. I hope this, again, has helped you guys. Y'all have an awesome, blessed day.